All right, want to know how we got here? Well, first, we started here. Because who doesn't choose their colors blindfolded? And then we took our prepped and painted black chairs, and we are going to town, you guys. So first up, we are starting with Mira. Mira is a chrome, so she goes on kind of thick. So I'm spreading her out as much as possible. I don't want it thick. I don't want to see the brush strokes. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of Bathory. Bathory is this really rich orangey gold. And you can see I'm going right over. So you're probably noticing that I'm not really a stickler for staying in the lines. I'm using the curvature and the ornateness of the chair as basically a guide. But I don't feel like I have to stick to it. Just like coloring books, right? They're just a guide. You don't have to stay in the lines. So now I'm putting on Magic. It is a beautiful gold, but I gotta tell you, I'm not feeling the contrast. It's a beautiful blend, and a normal person would say, that is excellent. I am not normal. I am grabbing a contrasting color. I'm breaking the rules. I'm adding one more color, and this is my favorite. It's Ursula. Just like the other colors shift a little bit pink, so does Ursula, but she also shifts blue. So blue is going to be that contrast, but the pink undertones, the pink shift is what's going to pull it all together. You see how I did that? So some things to note. Ursula is a super duper shifter. So she's rich and she's got a depth of color, but I'm just spreading her out as far as she can go. But at the top, you're going to see I'm going to put Mira. There she goes. Mira is a chrome. She goes on thick. We talked about that before. And she has brush strokes if you're not careful. So this is why I'm kind of dabbing. But see, you can dab and you can blend them together. It is possible, but one is going to go on thicker than the other. And when we get to the center of this piece, you're going to see what I'm talking about. I put the Magic on here again. I loved it. I think you would really love it, but it didn't give the pop that I needed. So I added a little Bathory around the edges, a little bit of orange. So we go from gold to orange, and now I'm going with Ursula again around the outline of this piece. And I've switched brushes. I'm using a much bigger brush now so that I can really spread it out in larger areas. The key to the brush really is just to make sure it's soft, but it's firm enough to spread. You want it to be able to spread the wax, but you don't want it to be so hard that you see the brush strokes in it. So you'll see here, I'm also not cleaning my brush. There's a little bit of Ursula left on there, but I dipped in the Mira. I'm not gonna like it. That's the fun of it all. You can just mix all the colors together. But Mira, again, is a chrome, pretty much opaque, and shows brush strokes. I've said that before, but it's important to note. So what I'm doing is I put it all around the outside, and then I'm just pushing it in until there's nothing left on my brush. So start around the outside, almost creating like a little vignette or an ombre. And I'm just pushing all those colors. And you can see there, you can still see those brush strokes as much as I'm trying to get rid of them. So there's a trick for that. There's a trick for that. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. Oh, I'm going to demonstrate it one more time. See? I don't like that. So here's the trick. I love my Daydream brushes for this. You want them big and fluffy and clean, and just bigger than the brush you used before to really spread it out. There, no brush strokes. See? That's what I'm talking about, you guys. And I have much more in-depth videos about just this, but that's just a little hint. Now I'm putting on the Ursula in the middle. I put too much on. I can tell that this is going to take off the layer underneath, which is what I don't want. So I offloaded it, and I'm being really careful. I'm kind of pouncing. I'm doing a little bit of a smush and mush really lightly because Mira is a chrome and Ursula is a super duper. The super dupers aren't as opaque as the chromes. And so you're going to see a little bit more black there. I'm not going to try to fill it in on the first coat. I'm going to go back in a couple days and then add another coat so that those two have the same level of opacity. Don't try to layer up as you're going because wax takes wax off. You just want to lay it on top, let it cure, and then we're going to come back in a few days, and I'm going to show you how we're going to even it all out, and it's going to be awesome. All right, are you guys having fun? Are you learning something? I hope so. All right, stay tuned for part 2.